The spat between Iran and Saudi Arabia has escalated after a missile attack near Riyadh airport carried out by Houthi rebels in Yemen. Iran's president warned Saudi Arabia on Wednesday it will achieve nothing by threatening the might of Iran after Saudi Arabia laid the blame for that missile attack on Tehran.
You know the might and position of the Islamic Republic. People more powerful than you have been unable to do anything against the Iranian people. You are not strong enough to do that.
Well, some are now concerned that the ongoing and underreported proxy war between the two regional powers could turn into a head-to-head confrontation. RT's Murad Gazdiev now assessing how Saudi Arabia does continue to add fuel to the fire.
Recently, barely a day seems to go by without Saudi Arabia making headlines. And it almost always boils down to its arch enemy, Iran. It is a game of chess that spans an entire region. On every front, in every country, the Saudis see Iran's evil influence. The Houthi rebels in Yemen, who Saudi Arabia has been bombing for many years, fire a rocket at Riyadh. That, the Saudis can only describe as Iranian aggression.
Iran's role and its direct command of its Houthi proxy in this matter constitutes a clear act of aggression. The coalition's command considers this a blatant act of military aggression by the Iranian regime and could rise to be considered as an act of war against the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia.
The Saudis are also ready to throw their allies under the bus to create an excuse to denigrate Iran. Cue the Lebanese Prime Minister holding a successful meeting with the Iranians and then going to Saudi Arabia. And out of the blue, without warning, declaring his resignation while launching into a tirade about evil Iranian influence, plunging the region into chaos and destruction.
Wherever Iran is present, it plants discord and destruction, attested to by its interference in Arab countries in Lebanon, Syria, Iraq, Bahrain and Yemen. I would like to say to Iran and its followers that they will be losers in their intervention in Arab affairs. Our nation will wake up as it did in the past, and their hands in the region will be cut off.
You lose a pawn and gain an opening. Then there's the blockade of Qatar. A trade embargo, severed ties, ultimatums and warnings, punishment, some say, for Qatar daring to deal with the Iranians. And then there's Syria. The Saudi-sponsored rebellion is dying. Their jihadist allies are losing, and Assad is winning. This isn't what Riyadh planned.
We hope that and expect that during the interim period of this transition period, Bashar al-Assad will exit because he has absolutely no role to play in the future Syria.
And while Syria may have unexpectedly checkmated Riyadh here, the Saudis are ramping up attacks on Iran on other fronts. Truly, this is an international game of chess with nations and populations at stake. Ironic, given that last year, Saudi Arabia's highest Islamic cleric banned chess, saying that the game causes enmity and hatred between people. And even when played on a giant geopolitical scale, well, it looks like he was right.
Independent political analyst Pepe Escobar says that Saudi Arabia's provocations come from a desire to change the narrative in the region.
Saudi Arabia is isolated in the emerging new Middle East. They lost in Syria because of the failure of the Daesh project. They lost in Iraq. I was just back from Baghdad, and the talk in Baghdad is about not Balkanization, but about Iraqi national unity. They lost again with the blockade against Qatar. They are losing the war on Yemen, which is horrifying, with tens of thousands of civilian casualties, and supported by the US Congress for that matter, and using American weapons and UK weapons. And now they're trying to change the narrative. They they're blaming Iran. They are trying to ratchet up a confrontation involving Lebanon, which is caught in the crossfire. And it still is the same old story. It's Saudi Arabia against Iran, and countries in the Middle East, Southwest Asia are going to be caught in the crossfire. It's an absolutely horrific situation that is escalating very, very fast.